Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amanda Parker. I'm the founder of Amanda Parker Coaching, and I'm a confidence coach for underprivileged youth. So my passion is really helping underprivileged youth, those youth that have had significant traumas in their past, to really gain the resilience, the relationship skills, and the overall strategies that are going to really help them move into adulthood and be successful and happy throughout their life. So for those of you that are on my Facebook page, thank you so much for participating in the poll that I put up there. For those of you that haven't checked it out, I'm actually on Facebook. That's my favorite place to interact. So you can find me at Amanda Parker Coaching. We've got some really awesome content on there, so please feel free to pop over and like us. For those of you that participated in the poll, it was really exciting for me. So one of the top things that you guys requested was a little bit more information on the latest research that is coming out. So this research is about trauma and youth, as well as how COVID is affecting our youth. So I was really excited about this because I actually, way back in the day, got my master's degree in immunology. I was working in a research lab, and a lot of my time was spent reading papers. So I love research papers. I love pulling out all of the little interesting bits and being able to apply them. So this was really exciting for me. I'm excited to share some of the latest research. The paper I chose today, and if I look down, guys, it's just because I'm reading, because I want to get the titles and the authors correct, but the paper that I chose for today is called Trauma, Sleep, and Mental Health Problems in Low-Income Young Adults. So this is by Rachel Fusco and her colleagues, and this is a really cool study. It brings together some of the aspects that we already know about from previous research, and it helps us put those together in a way that really can help our young adults to really overcome some of the issues that they face both now and into adulthood. So this paper focused on low-income adults from 18 to 24. So a lot of it was on groups that were underrepresented, and those coming from low socioeconomic backgrounds. So and it really talked about how these groups, they chose these groups because these groups tend to have a higher level of trauma. So this obviously means that these findings can be used for our foster youth, for homeless youth, for refugee youth, any youth that come from a background where they've had significant trauma. So what they found is that the more trauma that youth had, and this is like trauma from early childhood. So we're talking about trauma that, not just in their teens, but from any time in their early childhood. This trauma actually has a direct consequence on their ability to get good night's sleep. So I thought this was really interesting because it's not just trauma and sleep that they're linking, but they also bring in mental health as well. So as many of us know, there's tons of studies about what happens to you when you don't get the right amount of sleep. So the recommendations for youth, I think it's 8 hours or more. And this is really important because teens and youth need that time for brain development, for rest, for repair of body and brain. But it's really interesting because they bring in some of these studies about lack of sleep and how they can really affect us. So as many of us know, if you don't get enough sleep, and I felt it as a mom, I'm sure you guys have felt it, when you don't get enough sleep, you're more likely to be aggravated and upset. You're more likely to maybe have impaired cognitive thinking, so you just can't think through things in a logical way. And then also, a lot of us know that not getting enough sleep can actually be a major contributor to mental health issues. So we're talking about depression, anxiety, things like that. So when we talk about teens, we know already, a lot of us know that teens don't get enough sleep anyway. I mean, how many of us have had teens in our house that don't go to bed until a ridiculous hour, and then, we're trying to pull them out of bed in the morning, they're still half asleep. So a lot of us know that teens are not getting enough sleep as it is. And this is for a variety of reasons. There's hormonal changes, their brains being restructured. So these things can make it hard for them to get, adequate sleep anyway. But then when we add on, modern day conveniences such as, TV and their smartphones and stuff like that, there's several studies that show that blue light really affects the melatonin in our brains, making it really hard for us to fall asleep and stay asleep and get that really important deep sleep that we need to help our brains to heal and help our body and help us to really get the rest that we need. So when you combine, the hormones, the brain restructuring, and, this blue light, we know that teens aren't getting enough sleep. But it's really interesting because in this study, they show that teens that have a traumatic past actually get even less sleep than their teen counterparts that don't have trauma in their background or have less trauma. And this is because these teens or these young adults have a hyperactive brain. So they're in fight or flight all the time, which makes it really, really hard for them to fall asleep. And then when they do, they often have disrupted sleep because they don't feel safe, or, they have just a hard time falling into that deep sleep. So all of these things kind of go together, right? So we know that, trauma actually makes it harder for them to get sleep. We know that they're having trouble getting sleep anyway because of restructuring in the brain and hormones. And, you add, COVID and more time on technology and the amount of time they spend on technology anyway, and you get this like perfect storm. So all of these things are related. And when youth that come from traumatic backgrounds, oftentimes, we know they already have mental health issues as well. They have depression, anxiety, several other things that are happening. And then you add this aspect of not getting enough sleep and all of these things that come along with not getting enough sleep. And, it's, you can really see how this can really contribute to increased mental health issues. So I found this really interesting because they also talked about how increasing the amount of sleep that these youth are getting can actually play a significant, not just a little bit, but a significant role in helping them with their mental health issues. So they brought up the point that youth, this is 18 to 24, youth that are in a low socioeconomic home, or, youth from disadvantaged youth, basically, they have less access to mental health care. So many of them won't go in to see someone if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling anxious, etc. But there's more of a chance that they'll go into a doctor if they're having problems with sleep. And they were talking about how youth that actually seek out this help for sleep actually have noticeable decreases in their mental health issues. And I thought this was so important for us because we know it's hard to get our teens to go to bed. We know it's hard to get them off their phone. But this paper shows that if we can put in place things that help our youth get the sleep that they need, get the recommended amount, and get good sleep, that we can actually make significant changes in their brain chemistry that will help them decrease mental health, decrease aggression, and will just really help them increase cognitive thinking. So they'll make better decisions. Not saying that it's gonna totally make everything better, because obviously mental health and trauma is multifaceted and there's different aspects, but this can significantly help. So I wanted to share this with you because I think it's something that we can implement really easily in our houses. So when we have foster youth in our home, we make it a rule that they can't have tech half an hour before bed. And we make this a time where we either sit and talk, read books, play a family game, something like that. And this is really important because it gives their brains a chance to get out of that blue light, to really start producing melatonin so that they can get to sleep and they can stay asleep. So that's one thing. Another thing that we can do, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it's actually really good for everybody, adults and youth, to lay down on their backs and put their feet up on a wall. So this really helps decrease your heart rate, helps you relax, and this can just be something simple that you can do for like 5 minutes that can just really help you get ready for bed, really help calm down. Maybe, this is something that can help them get out of their fight or flight. There's also a really good book called Breathe Like a Bear. And this I use with the younger kids in my home, but you could also use this with the youth. So they're really quick, easy, like 1 to 2 minute breathing exercises. There's a whole section for being calm, and I find that they're really fun. So the kids love participating in them and they work really well. So just some things like this, just doing a little bit of breathing, taking away the blue light, stuff like that. If we can implement that into our youth, daily schedules, then we could actually make a significant change in the mental health issues that they are facing. So I would absolutely love to hear those of you that already have rules in place around bedtime and screens, how that's working out. Have you seen any changes in your youth? And for those of you that are, excited about trying this, really want to help out your teens with their mental health, I would love to hear what strategies you're going to try, what you're going to put in place. I think this is a totally easy and manageable way to really help our kids with their mental health. And it's so cool to connect them all. Like I said, we know the statistics and the studies about sleep. We know, lots of things about trauma. But when we put the two together, they're all interrelated. And by, helping out with the sleep, we can actually positively have an impact on the other aspects of their life. So I'm really excited to share this research with you. I think it's really cool, cutting edge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys are going to implement it in the future and what happens. Keep me updated on what happens. Let me know, guys, if you want any links to any of the research that I've mentioned. Let me know. I'll drop the links below so that you can read the papers yourself. And let me know what other aspects of trauma or COVID or, youth-related research that you're really interested in. I'll try and find some papers. And other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week and sharing some more awesome research with you then. So I will see you then. Like I said, go ahead and head over to Amanda Parker Coaching on Facebook. We've got some awesome things happening there. We would love to see you there. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're at in your journey. And have a great day, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.